The books covered in this section of our Bible overview are surely some of the most profound and the most beautiful ever penned on the face of the earth. These are the Hebrew wisdom books, and they're nestled at the very heart of the Old Testament. The book of Job, the book of Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and the Song of Solomon. Are just amazing books full of rich insight, full of the heart of worship, full of the wisdom of heaven, and full of insight to the heart of man and to the heart of God, and how those two things can come together and really connect. We've made this section of our notes extremely graphic, very easy to read and very easy to grasp. And I just know that as you come in and you give some time to look at these notes and to read the books in the Bible for yourself, you're going to be amazed at some of the riches that you dig up. You know, even as we look at the book of Psalms, you'll find the numerous messianic psalms that we've listed. And you can take a look at those and just see how clearly Christ was prophesied throughout this book of worship. And then the book of Proverbs with the different characters that it brings onto the stage that typify certain attitudes and certain ways of thinking and being that have so much to teach us. Of course, we have the book of Job. The book of Job is considered to be one of the first books of the Bible to be written. Even though it appears here in the center of our Old Testament, the likelihood is it was written as actually one of the first, even before the books of Moses were written. And it's a poem, essentially, about many of the questions that we share. As part of this section, we've also included a very in-depth consideration of the doctrine of suffering. People ask the question, why do bad things happen to good people? That's one of the questions that we find not just in the book of Job, but in the book of Ecclesiastes as well. And so as you look into these beautiful wisdom books and the poetic books of this period of Israel's history, many of which were written during the period of kings that you've just looked at, I tell you, they are going to continually yield fresh fruits of revelation to your spirit. I particularly enjoyed the study of Job, where we look and we find God encountering this man Job and basically not giving him a clear, specific answer to his question, but actually saying, look, I am the answer, and how Job's heart just melts and his questions vanish when he encounters the living God. How much an encounter with God can answer questions that we could not even begin to verbalize. And then the honest struggle of the book of Ecclesiastes, just absolutely brilliant as you begin to dig below the surface and share some of the wrestlings of Solomon's heart as he bashes these things out and again comes to the conclusion, hey, God is the answer to all of this. God himself, the very person of the Godhead, will bring purpose to life. And then the book of the Song of Solomon. What a beautiful love story nestled in the center of the scriptures, where we look at the typical pictures of Christ and his church, and also consider God's wonderful endorsement of the joy of sexuality between a man and wife. Each of these books has something beautiful to deliver to your spirit. So do enjoy your study of these wisdom books, this Hebrew wisdom, this Hebrew poetry. God bless you as you dig in and enjoy.